All right, this is Mrs. Naslin, and today we're doing Unit 5, Lesson 15, Multiplication with Hundreds. Our learning targets for today are, I can use an area model to represent multiplication of hundreds, and I can explore and use different methods to multiply hundreds. All right, so first off, we're going to look at this area model here and just kind of figure out what this and how this is working. What we're looking at is 300 times 7. And we want to look at how this works. Our first question says, how many hundreds are represented in each column of the model? So if we look here, it was 300 times 7, so they basically made columns for each of the hundreds. And then they made these ones. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And then basically the idea is if I take 7 times 100, I get 700. And then I do 7 times 100, I get 700. And I do 7 times 100, I get 700. And then I get to add all those together. Okay, so I've got 700 here, 700 here, and 700 here. If I add all those together, 7 plus 7 plus 7 would give us 21. And then I add on my zeros, so I'd get 2,100. Okay. Now, how does knowing that 7 times 3 equal 21 help you find 7 times 300? Well, I know with our tens trick that we did earlier, that if I knew 7 times 3 is 21, and then all I had to do was count the zeros. And the same thing works with hundreds. I just count these zeros. So I've got 2 more zeros there. I add them on. And guess what? 7 times 300 is 2,100. All right, let's go ahead and practice that a little bit. All right, again, using that same method we used with the tens, but now we're in hundreds. If I do 9 times 6, I get 54. And I count my zeros. I've got 1, 2 zeros. So I get 5,400. How about this one? 49 times 300. Well, I'm going to do 49 times 3 first. So a 2-digit by 1-digit. It's been a while since we've done these. 49 times 3. Okay. 9 times 3 gives me 27. Carry my 2. And I do 4 times 3 is 12, plus my 2 is 14. So 147, but I'm not done. Remember, I've got to add on my zeros. I got 2 zeros to add on. So I end up with 14,700. All right, so same thing that we did with tens, but just with hundreds. So why don't you go ahead and give this one a shot for yourself. 7 times 500. All right, let's see how you did. 7 times 5 is 35. And then I count my zeros. Got 2 zeros on there, add them on. And I get 3,500. All right, how about this last one here? Go ahead and give this one a shot. 83 times 200. All right, so I'm going to take my 83 times 2. Remember, I'm just pulling out the numbers there. I'm leaving my zeros behind. 3 times 2 is 6. And 8 times 2 is 16. Count my zeros. 1, 2. Add on those zeros. 1, 2. I count over 3 and add my comma. I end up with 16,600. So that shows you how we can multiply with hundreds.